Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. We all know the NZ is the king of Warzone. This thing has been very, very dominant for almost a season and a half at this point. It's been a top tier weapon. Everyone is running this right now. Low recoil, great damage, great velocity. Like, the thing is just all pros, no cons. However, a day of reckoning is coming. This thing is going to be dethroned. And today, I wanted to focus on what weapons are next up, which weapons got next when it comes to being a top tier, potentially the go-to meta weapon in Warzone as it stands. So as we break everything down today, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with everything going on in COD. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. So we are here on SimGG, so we can look at the absolute perfect data mine stats to figure out what exactly is behaving, in a top tier, in a meta way in game right now. So of course we have our NZ. We don't really need to fully kit it out because really all that impacts the TTK and whatnot is the muzzle, which is our MX silencer, the barrel, and of course our 50 round mag. Now, a few weapons I want to look at here briefly. We got the KG M40. This is one I particularly got my eye on as what could be another weapon that just a ton of players are going to flock to. I think the Vargo is up there. However, there's a bit of an asterisk on this one. And then also, as we've talked about recently, the AS-44 is just a demon. If you can control the recoil and get past that, the thing just fries. But let's go ahead. Let's look at the stats here. So we've got our TTK chart here. Obviously, we're looking at 300 health. We'll look at different parts of the body. But we got, obviously, our NZ is our orange line. The KG is our green line. The Vargo is our purple line. And the AS-44 is that bright blue line, which you'll notice right away, pretty much at any part of the body is the best choice, maybe with the exception of the neck there, which is not as good of a multiplier. But yeah, clearly the AS-44, this is going to be in the meta, I think, for some time, but it's one of those weapons sort of similar to like maybe the AMAX back in the day, where there was a few different meta weapons, but the AMAX was the one that if you were a really good player, it felt the most dominant. But if you were a mediocre player, maybe you were going for something like the Kilo or the Grau, which was close, but not as good. I think that's sort of the new AS-44 here, just because the recoil is obnoxious. At longer ranges, most players probably are going to struggle with that control, but good players can really take advantage of just how strong that AS-44 is. But that, like I said, is a tougher weapon to use. So we want to focus now, I think, between the NZ, the KG, and the Vargo as three ones that I've got my eye on in particular. Now you can see, at least to the chest shots here, KG is actually like really, really close with the NZ. We'll go ahead and hide the Vargo and just focus on these two guns in particular here. So to the chest, they are very similar to one another. The KG is a little bit slower through the first 33 meters, then it's slightly better, then it's a negligible difference over range. We look at the other parts of the body though, KG, a little bit better through 36 meters, then it drops off. The head multiplier is a little bit worse over range. The neck multiplier, sort of the same story. The problem with the NZ, as you guys can see, is just its lack of damage drop-offs. We look at the extremities though, KG again still holding its own through 36 meters, and that slight drop off is going to be about 100 milliseconds difference. Same deal with the lower arms, the stomach, the lower extremities as well. So the KG right there with it through the first 30 or so meters, 35 meters, but then it drops off ever so slightly over range. However, the KG is one of the easiest guns to use in the entire game. We've talked about it several times because of its recoil benefits. The thing just shoots straight. Like it is so easy to use. It takes very minimal effort, whether you're on console at 80 FOV or on PC at 120. The thing is a laser beam, and obviously that's what the NZ is now. Now, looking ahead, when the NZ gets nerfed, if they give it a damage drop-off, then suddenly we're looking at a TTK that probably has the NZ's bar closer up to that KG, and you have very similar weapons. One, though, that's probably going to be a little bit easier to shoot in the KG. Now we add the Vargo into the mix here, and it actually is right there again with the NZ. If we were to hide the KG and just look at these two, Vargo right there through the first 33 meters, then they each have a drop-off, and they're basically tied throughout. The headshot multiplier, Vargo is slightly better up close, and then NZ a little bit better over range. The neck multiplier on the Vargo is insane. The extremities also go to the Vargo here. However, being that it is a Cold War weapon, the Vargo does struggle with mobility, and it's got that S-curve pattern for control, which is not as ideal. That said, we know it's Season 4 Reloaded. We've got the Vargo S coming up from Vanguard, and I don't think we're going to necessarily see two Vargos in the meta. The Vargo 52 currently being the best non-Vanguard gun in the game. I would not be surprised if we saw some nerfs to the Vargo here so that the Vargo S can really shine and be a top weapon that players are going to want to grind out the challenge for and purchase blueprints for and make them some money, right? So in my opinion, while the Vargo looks really good, I do think it has the possibility and the potential to be sort of dethroned because of the Vargo S incoming. But the KG and the AS-44 are two weapons that I definitely have my eyes on for being top tier once we see this NZ nerf. Now, as far as those setups go, of course, we don't really need to break down the NZ one, but we'll go through it here real quickly just in case. 3 to 6 times scope. We're gonna go for the E-Pack stock. We've got the M1930 strife angled underbarrel. We're of course using lengthened. We've got the hatch grip on there. Perk 1 is gonna be brace. Perk 2 is going to be fully loaded or on hand. Basic setup there. For the KGM40, we got the MX silencer. We've got the shrouded barrel here, which is going to be the best long range barrel. I also like to use just the standard Clauser 60 round drums. That's your basic extended mag. 40 just does not feel great. 30 is just not usable for a rifle for anything viable. Then also the 30-60, I don't like the control as much there. Clauser 60 is going to make it the easiest to shoot. For the optic here, you could go for 2.5 times, you can go for 3 to 6. It really just comes down to preference there. For the stock, padded's going to be super ideal here. Decent mobility, but also helps out with the control even more. For the underbarrel, there is some horizontal movement. It's kind of like a horizon pattern, I guess you could say. It goes just up and to the right consistently. So you could definitely use strife angled if you wanted to. I don't think that's a bad choice at all, but hand stop is also a decent choice too. Just comes down to your preference there. Lengthened on there per usual. We're also going to go for hatch grip on there as well. Perk 1, tight grip or brace are both good options. And then perk 2, fully loaded or on hand. Yet again, very consistent. Like I said, one of the easiest weapons to use in the entire game. I mean, the thing just shoots so straight. It's unbelievable. And then for more mid to long range AS-44, we obviously have the MX silencer. We got the 615 barrel and the Gorenko 50, as we've talked about many times. I like the 2.5 times optic on here because it offers more control than the 3 to 6, so it makes it a tad bit easier to use. Of course, though, you don't get that super long range visibility and vision because of a 6 times zoom or even a 3 times zoom. So take that into account. You could always go with a more zoom, an increased zoom, but the control might not be as easy. I also like just the custom stock here. I also see some players running the ZAC 12B here and there, but for me, just the basic custom works well for that increased control while sustaining fire. Carver foregrip here for the better control since it's primarily vertical. We definitely want to have lengthen on there for the better velocity. Again, we're going to go for the hatched grip here as well. Perk 1, honestly, none of these are super great. Gung Ho is always usable, but just for that faster sprint to fire and that sprinting while shooting, it can help out in some of those mid-range fights. Steady is also a good choice too, in my opinion. Then perk 2, again, fully loaded or on hand. Either of those work just fine. But when it comes down to the replacement to the NZ, as mentioned, KGM40 and AS-44 I think are two options that a lot of players are really going to enjoy, just depending on your skill level. AS-44 for the top echelon of players, KGM40 for the more casual base that wants an easy weapon to shoot, just like what the NZ has been for the past, season or so. But that being said, that is going to wrap things up for this one. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know by dropping a like on it. It does really help the channel grow. And if you're new here, feel free to hit that sub button, turn on those post notifications. That way you can always guarantee you're up to date with absolutely everything going on in the world of Call of Duty. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, take it easy. Have an awesome rest of your day. I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.